Bruh, how do you get 1 year for killing someone? Hey, it's your boy ClipseyBaby. Welcome back to the channel. I'm here doing another spooky stream series review. We're going to be watching some true crimes. I'm putting on my detective hat. As you can see, it's a little bearish. And we're going to be getting through it today. So let's get right into it. I got my food. I got the crew. With no further ado, let's get right into the spooky.
You don't get rid of friends.
This is Jim Brenner, a farmer living in the remote Utah desert. Police don't know it yet, but he's showing them the exact building where a missing teenager was murdered just days earlier.
Wow, damn.
19-year-old Dylan Rounds had left his family to go work on his farm, but after being spotted buying supplies at a local shop, he would vanish without a trace. Strangely, no one in the small, quiet town seemed surprised. Apparently, this was not uncommon.
I told that kid to stay the hell out of Montello.
But that whole town, it's a crazy place.
Some other guy pointed a gun in my freaking face.
As days stretched into weeks, detectives chased a mounting list of suspects. Thieves, violent criminals, drug dealers. Yet from the very beginning, the truth was there, hidden in plain sight by someone nobody suspected.
Alright, let's see how this goes. Let's see how this... Who do you think it is? Someone in his family? Or before? Damn, almost 2 years.
It all began on a quiet evening when police received calls from a concerned family member reporting their son, Dylan Rounds, missing from his farm in Utah. They hadn't heard from him in over 2 days, and when they went to his property to check, there was no sign of him anywhere. A deputy was dispatched to Dylan's farm to meet with his family, but on his way there, he was stopped by a neighbor of Dylan, claiming he might know what happened to him.
He's been hanging out over that bar in Montello, and I could give you some names of some scumbags over there, but he's been shooting his mouth off about how much money he's making. And there's one guy, Chase Ventura. He's over there, and he can do anything he wants. He's been robbing, stealing, and everything, and the Elko County Sheriff won't do anything about it. And if you talk to his mother, she knows more about it, but he run into Chase on the Tacoma Road the other day, and Chase kind of scared him a little bit.
What's your last name again, Jim?
Brenner, Jim Brenner. Well, I'll let you get down there before they disturb the crime scene.
Okay, thank you.
As the conversation ended, Jim Brenner's strange remark about a crime scene left the deputy curious, since no crime was yet confirmed. It was an unsettling comment that would soon become a disturbing reality.
Like, why?
For now, though, the deputy took note of this information and continued towards Dylan's farm to speak with his family.
No guns in there.
No guns in there?
Like he said, he has a 40 that he puts in the door every side.
Did you just pop the back window?
I broke it out.
At first glance, Dylan's red Ford truck appeared oddly abandoned, bearing signs of minor damage. But what concerned his father the most was that Dylan's guns had mysteriously vanished from the trailer, a detail that was strange on its own. Wanting to learn more about Dylan, the deputy turned to speak with his mother. She had her own troubling information to share about Dylan's recent run-in with a local criminal.
So first
What
off,
is he farm for out here?
Himself.
What is he farm for?
farm.
Grain or grain?
Yeah.
James
What the hell
stopped
is
me
they
when
farming
you
out
guys
there in
were
the
around me
desert?
was talking to me.
Oh,
He
no,
said
it's not
that
desert. Okay, I see.
you knew
I
something about a
understand. It's
run-in
just so
he had
much
with a guy
land. It's
named
just so
Chase.
much
Yeah, on
land.
Wednesday, but they told me that's normal, so...
I know
Ain't
a lot
nothing
of the
normal
people
about
that
this shit.
he named from Montello are not good people. I only know of them from what people say.
Dylan's mother confirmed her son had in fact encountered Chase Venstra recently, the same person Dylan's neighbor had earlier described as a local thief and criminal. Given what the deputy learned so far, it seemed like Dylan might have unknowingly placed himself in danger. At just 19, he purchased 640 acres of land with his grandfather
That's what I
for an
just said.
estimated $200,000 to $300,000
That's nothing.
and built a
Damn.
reputation for his ambitious dreams of running a huge farm.
Wow.
But according to his neighbor, Dylan's
But let me
confidence
tell you
may
something.
have made him
I
a
just told
target.
you. Mad land. That shit look like a desert, but that shit is fertile as fuck, and they growing shit on it. But that's crazy. That's a flex. That's a huge flex. 640 acres. Bro, come
as
on,
he
man.
often frequented rough local bars and
That's a
talked
huge
openly
flex.
about his financial success.
Shout out to the Scooby Mobile. Did you
After
see that?
rehashing some more details with Dylan's parents, the neighbor, Jim Brainer, and his close friend, Donald Haitley, arrived to help. Both men knew Dylan well. Jim was living in a trailer near
shout out to
Dylan's
everybody
farm
in the
and
chat.
occasionally helped
Shout out
him
to
with
everybody that pulled up
chores.
to the stream,
And
man.
Donald
Appreciate
was
you
a
guys for pulling
longtime
up,
friend
man.
of the family and a supportive mentor to
We getting
Dylan's
active over
farming
here, getting
ambitions.
spooky.
But
We got
unbeknownst
a
to
lot more
everyone
spooky
at the
shit coming up
time,
after this. Stay
both
tuned.
men knew something more about Dylan's disappearance. Something they weren't ready to share yet.
Okay.
I did get a few.
Okay.
Last location was 15.4 miles from the boat line tower,
Okay.
which puts him on this back road.
Okay.
So I would that hit him walking? Okay, that's I know my son, and that's the shortest route to his camp.
If he walked,
15 miles is the shortest route to his camp.
if he walked, he would have come to the corner, cut across this field.
But that's his closest cell phone, Pete. Not in town, it's out here.
Off of that road, the back road into the
Then
compound.
we go down to where it is.
Yeah,
What time was that? Does it tell you?
and that was at 14:58.
So right after
So
you dropped-
just before 3 o'clock.
right after you left. So he must have
Yeah,
pulled
you
in
see
right
him?
behind
He's
me.
at
He dropped
12,
off the grain
1,
truck, and I'm
2,
telling you,
3.
I bet you he took off walking.
How do you get to that road from? So we don't have to go all the way back to Lucerne Pond and over.
No,
No, I guess
Perfect.
okay.
Following this lead, they quickly headed to the shed area to investigate.
Oh, no,
That's
they
when
might
they
be getting
discovered the
something
first
okey-doke to it.
were found, stained with blood, discarded about 100 yards south of the shed. The deputy immediately secured the boots to send them off for DNA testing and called another deputy to help search the shed and the surrounding property. However, they had no way of knowing that the biggest clue they were looking for was submerged 20 feet deep in a pond nearby.
Well, okay.
There's just some boots out there they've only been out there for a day or two.
Who's gonna
You
look
didn't see
there?
anybody else around here?
I left here
Yeah,
about
first place you
1:30, went over to Don's, and I was there until about 9 o'clock at night. And when I come back, that truck was there. It's just one thing after another.
20-foot deep pond. That ain't no
But
pond.
he's a friend of mine.
Sure. You don't get rid of friends. Those two boots out there, they're brand new. Like they've only been out there. They're the same color leather as your boots,
Brand new.
and they're the same ones he wears. So we're just curious of why his boots would be out there. Same size he wears. They've only been out there probably for a day or two.
He might have threw him out there.
Yeah, maybe he did. Well, does he know that's a dump out
Yeah.
there? He does.
He's got electronics and shit in there. Maybe, I don't know. 'Cause like I say, he was here. He had to have been here. Brought the truck here.
Yeah. Huh, that would make sense.
Based on Jim Brenner's
You sound
timeline,
guilty than a
whatever happened
bitch.
to Dylan likely occurred between 1:30 p.m. and 9 o'clock p.m., the hours when Jim left the shed to visit his friend, Donald Haitley. Police quickly verified Brenner's
sound
timeline with
guilty
his
than a
friend
bitch.
Donald, who confirms that they had dinner together during that time. With
His
Dylan's
dude might
exact
be there.
movements still unclear, deputies requested
he
a
might-
helicopter to
might
scout the
have
area
dumped him.
from above,
Well, he
looking
had
for
to be
any
here.
trace of Dylan.
The car is there, so you have to be here.
That's the guy that he's a partner with. This is where he dropped the grain truck off. Where's this grain truck? It's backed into
Okay.
that silver building there. So the big one. Yep.
Do you want to
You know
go
what, I
fire,
get it.
Mike,
Just
or
a
you
little
could
campsite.
please do
Little
the nice
dump
IR way.
place.
You can look at everything with a camera, and then we'll come back down and see if we see anything with her.
After a full sweep of the surrounding area, no sign of Dylan or any indication of where he might have gone was found.
Yeah, I don't know. This is crazy.
In the following days, the search efforts continued, and Daniel's family, alongside local volunteers, joined in. But despite their best efforts combing through the area, they too came up empty. Attention soon turned to the local criminal Chase Venstra. Both Dylan's mother and his neighbor Jim mentioned a recent encounter between the two, making Chase one of the last people to see Dylan alive. Additionally, Chase already had a history of violent run-ins with the law, including a 10-hour armed standoff with police in 2016, and was well known in the area for all the wrong reasons. Luckily for police, Chase had an active warrant related to domestic violence. It was their perfect chance to bring him in for questioning. But when officers arrived at the house to arrest him, Chase was nowhere to be found, potentially already on the run from police. Officers quickly began searching the town, asking if anyone had seen Chase recently. Locals directed them to the Montello Cowboy Bar, a place known to be frequented by Chase. Following this lead, officers headed to check the bar, where they would soon learn that Dylan and Chase's encounter may have been more dangerous than anyone realized. Let's get back to the officers at Montello Cowboy Bar, where a conversation with the locals was about to reveal how Dylan's encounter with Chase may have turned violent.
We're trying to find a kid named Dylan Rounds.
Oh, I know. We got locals out here looking for him, too.
Yeah, it's a small ass
went
town.
out that way because he was out to loose end.
I was hearing Kurt say something about he had a confrontation with that Chase kid.
Yeah, that's who I'm looking for. Where do we find him?
I'm kind of worried about it because if Dylan did walk back from where he left the grain truck and Chase got a hold of him vulnerable, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Walking back, something bad could have happened because there was a bad injury with a kid just out here that got his face smashed in by the butt of a gun, and the whole camper shell was all bashed in and stuff.
Where do we find Chase?
Yeah,
is he from here? Does he live here?
Yeah, he does. He does.
Trying to tell them that Chase is the one who...
This is where he hangs out.
He was staying out here, and he was...
Where was he staying at?
They all know what the hell's going on.
And so everybody was after him, and they finally told him to get the hell out of town and stay there.
Of course, he came back because he was just seen out here.
The bar owner's recap only further implicated Chase Venstra, suggesting that a violent confrontation between Chase and Dylan was more likely than ever. But something else caught the officer's attention when one of the bar owners briefly mentioned another recent incident involving Chase. Sensing there might be more to this, the officer decided to pull her aside for a private conversation. At this point, police still considered Dylan's case a missing person, but what the bar owner detailed next would soon shift this case to one of potential homicide.
Why was Chase and him having an issue, do you know?
So Kurt told me, and I was overhearing part of the conversation, saying that Dylan was just driving down the road and Chase stopped him. And so here he got some water.
He's a young mogul.
Like,
he out here farming,
Kurt
making his
and I guess
own
they
way
got
for
an
himself.
altercation about that because Chase was like, Kurt's an asshole, da da da. And Dylan was like, no, he's not. You know, he's a good guy. I work for, I do work for him, blah, blah, blah. There was an altercation. Then he went on his way. And I believe, if I'm not mistaking the conversation, that was the same day that he drove the grader, the grainer over to wherever and then whoever was there couldn't give him a ride back, so he possibly walked. That's all I know about the conversation.
How does the kid getting hit with the butt of a gun, does that figure into this at all?
I think it does. I think there is some, because now we're talking violence. Yeah. So this kid let his property go. He stopped making payments on his property because he's so scared. But he woke up to the butt end of a gun into his face. They smashed his camper.
How old was he?
I don't know, 30s. Has a family, has kids. He's out here, bought land out here, so I'm trying to homestead.
He's not out here.
No, or if imagine. No, he left to be his property go, he's gone.
With this troubling insight, it became clear that Chase Venstra was fully capable of extreme violence. If he attacked someone else recently, he easily could have done the same to Dylan. But what no one had realized yet was that police were looking in the wrong direction the whole time, while someone far more dangerous and guilty was hiding right under their noses. The next day, while the search for Chase continued, Dylan's family reached out to police.
Almost 2 years for
they were conducting their own investigation and wanted to share new information they'd uncovered. Information suggesting Chase may not have acted alone.
So this is the family. Yes. Okay. So tell me again what your have suspicion to believe right now?
So on 525 is when Dylan ran into Chase with the desert and called me right after. He had no shoes on. Dylan wouldn't let him take his phone or give him a ride, but he did allow him to call his dad on speakerphone in Ogden, Utah.
Okay. Dylan allowed Chase.
Dylan allowed Chase to, and then he gave him some coke and and then his dad called Dylan back, and Dylan sent the pin from his phone to where Chase was.
Okay.
So then we fast forward to 528, which was Saturday. Dylan was heard from in the morning. He talked to his grandma, and he was going to take the grain truck to the shed to put it in shelter because it was raining.
Okay.
So at this point, we assumed he was walking back across the desert to his camper because he didn't have a ride.
This is in Mill.
Yeah.
Okay. Is that out of Lucin?
Lucin.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So then 529, they continued to look for him. 530, we all got here to Dylan's last known location in Lucin, filed the police report, got search and rescue out. That's the night we found Dylan's boots about 400 yards from where his last known location was, tossed out behind a dirt pile, just out in the desert. So then today we kept searching, and that's when these guys got us the information, about 3 o'clock today? We know that this Robert guy took Chase out to the desert where Dylan is the day Dylan went missing.
The man Dylan's mother mentioned would turn out to be Robert Aviles. He had an active arrest warrant
So I'm
and
thinking,
reportedly gave Chase
Well, I mean,
Venstra
we already
a
know what's
ride to
happening. It's the
Dylan's
guy
place
who-
on the day he disappeared.
Whoa.
The family also suspected that Chase could be at Robert's house,
He had
so
to be
finding
here.
him became a
It's that
priority
dude. But I'm
in
just saying,
locating
like-
their prime suspect and hopefully Dylan himself. Officers quickly moved to track down Robert Aviles, and their first stop was Robert's residence, where they came into contact with his mother.
Singing in danger.
I don't know who that would be.
Okay.
I'm sorry,
supposed
but
to
I
be-
have no idea.
He's supposed to be hanging out with a guy named Chase. And Robert.
Okay, I don't know. This might have an idea, but my son's been homesick, and he's been in bed all day, and he's been home all night.
Sick
I don't
or high?
know. I'm just wondering.
That's what they
So
do.
who's all in your house?
Nobody.
Nobody's in there right now?
No.
But
my
he's
son
been in
is
there all
in his
day.
trailer
And where's that at?
in the backyard.
In the backyard?
Yeah.
Well,
What's happening?
we're just trying to find out
And
who this
no,
kid
no
is.
one came home with him.
Nobody came home with him?
No.
Okay. Is Chase here?
No. I don't let Chase on my property after I found him inside my home when I wasn't home.
We were told that there's possibly a
kidnapping.
missing kid.
Oh, being
He's
here. Yeah, no.
So
You can feel free to look around
Hostage
if you
situation? Like he's not being...
No,
See, that's why we're here, ma'am. I'm not about a car.
look around if you want to. But there's
Is that
no one
okay?
here
Would be
but my
okay.
son, and he's sleeping.
After speaking with Robert's mother, officers conducted a thorough search of the property.
Mama
but
gonna
found
hold
no
you down,
sign
but-
of Dylan or Chase. But they soon located Robert
he on that
inside his
stuff.
trailer, and he was
He ain't
quickly
sick.
arrested and transported to the police station for questioning. When detectives placed Robert in the interrogation room, they expected resistance and lies, but instead, Robert didn't hold back.
So you said that Chase had taken guns from somebody. Did he admit to you, like, where he got his guns?
No, this is what I thought he got arrested for the first time. What he was in jail for when I came back. I asked Chase that. I was like, hey, man, I heard you got arrested. He's like, nah, that's just all Montello gossip, blah, 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 right? So I'm kind of weary after giving him a ride. I tried to show one of my mom's friends, been out there in the community for a long time. He gave me his scenario. He thinks Chase did it too, okay? Now, I don't know the time frames because I'm not good with time like I told you guys. I did the best I could by contacting the store lady and asking her what day I gave Chase a ride. You know, because I didn't even know what day I gave Chase a ride. I didn't even know what day the kid came up missing. I didn't even know there was a kid missing until the Nevada police came knocking on our door wanting to search our residence. You know what I mean? And that's the truth.
Although Robert admitted giving Chase Venstra a ride, he couldn't provide any clear information on Chase's current whereabouts and maintained his innocence throughout the rest of his interview. However, Robert made one thing clear. He believed Chase was involved and might have even killed Dylan. The following night, something strange happened at Dylan's trailer in the Lucin Desert. It seemed someone had quietly returned and tampered with items inside. An officer was quickly sent out to photograph and document the scene, accompanied by Dylan's father, who'd share more details about the troubling discovery.
Okay, the shotgun is in a house in Rigby. Okay. That is my grandfather's that I bought, and he has a room up there, and that was the 40. There's not in here. We looked in his camper.
So now we back at the beginning.
Didn't find it. No key fob for the truck, so when I broke the window, the alarm went off. We undid the battery. No key fob. We looked in his camper and all the cupboards and stuff. Looked in the bathroom. Nothing. My mother came here. She has real bad arthritis. My sister was here. We were all out searching. She used the bathroom. Dylan hadn't flushed it. You'll see in here. It's really nasty. So my sister went in and cleaned it. Still no gun. Later, my son and JD came in, and the gun was sitting on a sink. It's outside of the bathroom, but right by the bathroom door where the toilet and the shower is the sink, but it's not in the bathroom. The gun was sitting right there with the clip outside of it. Okay. Sitting there. So my son and JD didn't think much of it. They grabbed the gun, put it in my truck. I didn't think much of it. Oh, they found the gun. I don't know. Then we started realizing that it wasn't there when my sister cleaned the bathroom for my mom to use and all that, and it was there.
This discovery was an alarming indication
called the magazine,
that someone
y'all.
was actively trying
Clip
to
is what
cover
holds
up
it to
their
your waist,
involvement
just saying.
in Dylan's disappearance. But his father had one more thing to share. Something about an old confrontation with someone police hadn't yet fully considered in their investigation.
What was Chase's ties to out here? I don't know about Chase. Okay. Hardly any. But the whole town knows him. And that whole town, it's a crazy place. They're just all like, they're all nutty for one thing. The only people that I know of that really were in contact with Dylan is I hear the Chase guy, I didn't know it. But Don and Jim. Jim was the guy the place you guys were. Okay. Jim came out here and helped. Jim came to Rigby, where I live. I live in Rigby and Idaho Falls area. Dylan bought like 800 pigs or something from the Midwest when the pandemic hit, whatever, the corona. They brought them to my farm and I was pissed. And Jim was there and I unleashed on him, told me to get the hell out of here. He called Dylan and told me he's going to blow my head off. Dylan called me, he got all mad. So when I found out he was going to blow my head off, I had to go see. And he's walking down the lane of the farm with a big old pistol, and my dad calmed him down and calmed me down. Then he came back this winter to my shop to work on that seed truck. Fine, everything was fine, and I realized it's Dylan's friend. I'm not going to worry about this, you know what I mean? I got to bend ties with myself.
According to Dylan's father, there were no further escalations after his confrontation with Jim Brainerd at the time. At this point, no one had any real reason to suspect Jim Brainerd or Donald Hately. After all, they'd been actively helping the family, joining search and rescue efforts, and fully cooperating with police. However, the confrontation described by Dylan's father was serious enough for the officer to take note of it. After leaving the scene, he passed this information to detectives, prompting a deeper look into Jim Brenner's past, and what detectives uncovered wasn't entirely unexpected.
Put a 2 in the chat.
A criminal past including convictions for aggravated assault and multiple weapons charges, as well as a pre-existing federal active warrant for being a restricted person in possession of a firearm. Brenner's violent history and his close proximity to Dylan's farm were enough for detectives to flag him as a person of interest, alongside their primary suspect, Chase Venstra.
Damn, alright. Damn, bro, they going day by day.
Officers moved quickly to
have
serve Brenner's arrest warrant and bring him in for questioning. They soon spotted him casually heading back towards the grain shed with his close friend, Donald Hately.
What could I do for you guys?
Well, we just had a couple things we wanted to talk to you about. We're still trying to figure stuff out, you know, and just have you guys heard or seen anything these days? Anything new?
This trash over here. I know names. I know people. I know. Nobody seems to want to listen to me.
I guess you're gonna see.
He's like, yo.
They're the ones coming over stealing shit.
Are they?
Yeah. Chase Vestra. Chase Vestra and Robert Aviles are the one that robbed Michael Moore up here. But everybody keeps saying that's the do with Dylan. We need to find Dylan. You need to bust kick freaking rat's nuts over there open, and people are going to start talking. That's the only way you're going to find out about Dylan.
There's a warrant for your arrest. I'm going to let you know about it right now.
From Maryland?
So we're going to pick you up, take you to jail with us.
Oh, God damn it.
So what I want you to do, I know before you tie anything, place your hands on your head for me. Interlock your fingers, okay?
Jim pointing
He said
fingers at
from
Robert
Maryland.
and Chase was understandable, given witness statements and allegations.
That shit you
but
shouldn't even
Jim's
say.
own criminal past and proximity to Dylan made him equally suspicious.
Huh?
Detectives transported him to the police station, planning to
Murder
use the
attempt.
unrelated warrant charges as an opportunity to question him further about Dylan. Though they didn't expect much new information from Jim, this routine questioning was about to lead to an unexpected breakthrough.
The warrant has been issued, and we're obligated by law to be found in service. I don't know if you realize this, but there's other bigger problems going on over there than this.
Here to talk to you about that warrant. You just got brought in on that warrant.
Okay.
We would like to talk to you about the other things that are going on out there.
We've got you. I understand you're fine. And I know him better than you do. I work for him.
He worked for the kid. It's crazy. That boy was getting money.
Dylan used to go in the bar and been bragging about how much money he's making. Dylan never carried money on him. Bought everything with a credit card. But if he did have $1 in his wallet, he wouldn't give it up. And I think this is a strong arm robbery. Somebody thought they'd see this little 5'5" kid, and I think they figured, we're going to get this guy. We're going to rob this guy. We're going to intimidate him. Dylan don't intimidate him.
With the strong arm robbery, who do you believe did?
Chase and Robert Aviles.
Is there any reason anyone?
Why are they blanking out his face? We already seen him.
Well, there's got to be
We've seen
somebody.
that photo. We've seen his face on camera and
What about
everything.
Don?
I've known Don for over 2 years. And Don's gone
That's the shit
out
I'd be
way to
peeping
help
like in
Don,
edits.
just like I
You know what I'm saying?
As expected,
Shit like that don't
Jim
make no
Brainer's
sense.
statements remained mostly consistent, and he appeared genuinely convinced Chase Venstra and Robert Aviles
And now
had
he's-
something
see
to
what I'm saying?
do with Dylan's
Unblurred.
disappearance. But Brenner had more details to share. Details about Dylan himself and the dangerous individuals he was attracting.
Another one, Robert Lee, just did 10 years in prison for strong arm robbery. And lo and behold, about 3 weeks ago, a fellow from Salt Lake that bought 10 acres of land over in Montello, 2 guys went into his trailer, beat him up with a pistol, whipped him, robbed him, took his cell phone, and
10
made it
acres
so
ain't
the
no
vehicle
joke
wouldn't run. He had to walk into town to call the police. There's a lot of shit going on in Montello. Is he the one that they talk about being pistol whipped with the butt of a gun? Is that the one? Is that somebody different?
I think it's the same person.
Brenner would go on to mention several other people, mostly convicted criminals from the area who could have had strong motives to rob or even kill Dylan. Clearly, he wasn't exactly narrowing things down for detectives, but at least he appeared fully cooperative. However, in just moments, Brenner would let something slip. Something that would unintentionally
Alright, Chad,
place
I'm going
him
blank on number 2, man.
at the center of the suspect pool.
Dylan, the shy kid. His world revolves around tractors, farming. I mean, he had a couple guns that his dad gave him, and he had a shotgun, and we found that's up in Rigby. But he always carried that in the back seat. And the pistol he had, they found that, and he was afraid to keep that loaded. He used to keep the gun in the console and keep a loaded magazine. And I told him, I said, Dylan, you either need to learn how to use that thing or put it somewhere. I said, that's going to get you killed. And it's a little late for that, but I was telling his dad that too.
Needless to say, Jim's choice of words wasn't ideal, and this wasn't the first time his statements had raised eyebrows, as he'd previously made a similar remark when Dylan first went missing, speaking about him as if he was already dead. Although several days had passed and the possibility of foul play was growing, detectives still found his comments odd. But with the rest of Brenner's interview yielding nothing new, investigators booked him into jail on his unrelated firearm possession warrant, giving them time to further investigate any possible involvement.
Oh yeah, they're gonna have to speed this up.
Shortly after Jim Brenner was taken into custody, officers finally located Chase Venstra and arrested him on his unrelated warrant out of Montana. Detectives wasted no time bringing him in for questioning, but in this first interview, Chase flatly denied any involvement, insisting locals were spreading false rumors to frame him. With no hard evidence, investigators booked him into jail, but with a strategy in mind. They placed him in a cell directly above Jim Brenner, quietly hoping they would interact, and at one point, one of them might talk or slip up. Pretty quickly, this tactic paid off.
Can I just tell you how my brain is working? Unrelated, completely unrelated. I'm looking at, okay, you see like how they're putting the photos over here, like they got the same photos, but then you're looking at the big photo in the back. That's clearly AI generated, right? Like it's AI generated and they blur out the face so that way you know you don't see the face. And they put the AI of them like in a thing, like saying put them in cell together, like so they can make the story. I'm just thinking about all the edits. That's just how my mind works. I think I just creative kind of thinking of like, oh, okay, this is how they do this type of stuff to make this kind of content. Like that's just how my mind be working. My bad.
And Chase reached out to detectives for another interview, claiming he knew exactly what happened to Dylan and could solve the entire case.
I came to talk to you.
Cam's called you.
She actually didn't call me. Ross called me and said that you were looking to talk about Brenner. Was it Brenner and just the case, basically, right?
Yeah, they put me in there. I'm the cell above Brenner. Okay. I've gotten to talk to him. I've talked to other cellmates. I know a lot.
Okay.
I know a lot. I can put this thing to bed for you.
Well, I mean, honestly, to be straightforward with you, I can't do anything about the charges. Me myself, right? They got to be federal, right?
No, they're state.
Oh, I didn't even know that there were any. So
I want them charges dropped, and I'll solve this case for you.
All right. I'm not able to do it, so I just came to talk to you to see if you had something you wanted to tell me.
I've got everything to tell you, but when I'm out of these chains and in my clothes,
well, and that's what I'm saying. I can't make that kind of deal with you, so.
It's
fine if you don't want to.
That's what I want.
That's fine.
I just want to be left alone. I want, like, we got an ultrasound on my new baby tomorrow. I want to go be there with her. This is her first baby. I'm applying for a job with the state out there.
I hope you get it.
I'm done with this thing. I've been dragged through the mud with this thing with Dylan. I know how it happened, where it happened, when. I know what was used, where it's at.
Okay.
I put this whole thing to bed for you guys.
Well.
Okay.
And
I hate to.
I wish you could, but there's not anything I can offer you.
Yeah. I hate to be that way with you, but I've got to look out for me.
Unfortunately for detectives, their strategy backfired. Now Chase wanted to bargain his freedom in exchange for information he claimed to have. But investigators had little reason to trust Chase, and without an agreement to drop his gun charges, the interview ended without providing any new leads.
I mean, a gun charge is just a gun. A gun charge.
On June 28th, exactly a month since Dylan went missing, police were called out after a witness reported finding something suspicious in the desert. A burial site with clear signs of something dead inside.
Oh, I smell something. Somebody came in and opened it. It wasn't like this. This wasn't here either. Oh.
Okay, go ahead and step away.
There's something dead in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, he killed it, poor baby. He killed it.
Yeah, so this is the only one that you found, huh? Okay.
It wasn't like this yesterday, though.
Hold on, let me just back up real quick because
the interview ended with.
I don't know if I was just high.
On June 28th, exactly a month since Dylan went missing, police were called out after a witness reported finding something suspicious in the desert. A burial site with clear signs of something dead inside.
Right, okay.
Oh, I smell something. Somebody came in and opened it. It wasn't like this. This wasn't here either. Oh.
Okay, go ahead and step away.
There's something dead in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, he killed it, poor baby. He killed it.
Yeah, so this is the only one that you found, huh? Okay.
Yeah, but it wasn't like this yesterday, though.
Okay.
Somebody came and opened it. Yeah.
So how did it look like?
This was flat. So this was on top, and then there was another wood.
Hey, man. So there is a grave, but there appears to be maybe 2 dogs.
2 dogs?
Maybe 2 or 3 dogs.
Yeah, that's not human.
Yeah, 2 or 3 dogs inside. It looks like it's been here for some time. But the person, the RP is...
Hold up. They put dogs in there. So that's 1 that's capped. 2, the person definitely came. So she said it wasn't like that yesterday. So someone came there, must have... Come on, bro. Came there, dug up the body and replaced it with dogs. So first off, they have to...
telling me that it didn't look like this yesterday, that somebody had come over and opened it up for some reason. I do have some footprints around this too.
The burial site contained dead dogs buried beneath. Not exactly what police were expecting, though it meant there still might be hope for Dylan. Just as the investigation began to settle back into a frustrating standstill, police received a call from someone they knew well. Jim Brainer's close friend, Donald Hately. He'd been around since the early days of the search, helping the family and cooperating with officers, but now, weeks into the investigation, he wanted to speak with investigators, claiming he had important information to share, something he'd kept hidden ever since Dylan vanished. Detectives immediately arranged to meet with Donald, where they would finally uncover one of the first truly damning clues in the case.
Oh, I'll tell you something. Okay. I really don't think it has anything to do with anything. You guys found ammunition and stuff with Jones. Yeah. And using white powder and foods in the stick. Yeah. But he figured that would be a reason to poke you or so to speak or say or whatever. So he brought us black powder rifles over black collars. Okay. Thank you. I appreciate that. Where are those? I put one behind my bed, my bedroom, and the other one's laid up in the corner next to the table on the couch. When did he bring them? After Dylan? Oh yeah, definitely after. Why? Basically safety. What he told me. Oh,
what he told
last time, you know, they had him in holding for over a year, and when he got out, everything he had was gone. Everything.
I can't ask you what's going through Jim's head at that time, but what's going through yours when he brings you his rifles and a 6-gun?
Honestly, it looked like he was scared that, you know, he was going to be detained for 6 months or a year and lose everything he had. He said, no, he had no idea what happened to his horses last time. Okay. All his gun, everything he owned disappeared.
So why do you think he's going to get detained, or why does he think he's going to get detained for 6 months?
Just because he's a felon and he could be held.
Yeah. So he knows he's a felon, he knows he shouldn't have them, and so he...
Well, I don't know. According to him, a black powder primitive weapon is not considered a firearm. Now, if he'd brought me a firearm, I'd have said no.
Okay. So sometime after, Dylan, do you remember how long after? I mean, it's only been 3 weeks now.
Powder rifle is not considered a firearm.
I wish that kid had just come walking down the road starting to kick his butt.
I wish too. But the longer this goes, the less likely that looks.
Yeah.
Donald's admission couldn't have come at a worse time for Jim Brainer. Although Donald explained that Jim hid the guns at his place out of fear of losing them, the timing was deeply suspicious. And for detectives, this was enough to place Brenner at the center of suspicion alongside Chase Venstra. Following this discovery, the firearms were seized and Jim Brenner picked up an additional firearm possession charge, keeping him in jail as the investigation continued. But detectives still lacked concrete evidence against anyone, and crucial DNA results from the bloody boots found near the shed were yet to return. It seemed like the case might stall for a while.
Yeah.
Over a year would pass, with detectives quietly making progress, including crucial DNA results, but still no sign of Dylan himself, and no one held responsible. That is, until December 2023, when investigators got a call that would change everything. Jim Brenner's cellmate, who'd spent months locked up alongside him, claimed to know exactly what had happened to Dylan. Detectives quickly arranged an interview, expecting another bargaining scenario similar to Chase Venstra's. But what the cellmate would reveal instead was a chilling murder confession.
How are you doing, sir? Good, thank you. So they had said that you wanted us to come back, that you had more information?
Yeah.
Or did you have information before that you just didn't give us all of it?
No, I didn't really have a whole lot of information then.
Okay.
I got plenty of information now. I got information that would probably help maybe even keep him cut the deal that he wants to cut the deal with.
Okay.
On his right hand, nobody has noticed, he's got a bite mark.
Really?
He's got a bite from Dylan rounds. The 22 is what killed Dylan. Two shots.
22?
Yeah, the 22.
Did he tell you that?
Yeah.
The story tell you that?
Like 3 days ago.
Go through that.
He said it was like 6 o'clock in the morning. He was in there taking shit, and then he heard a diesel truck drive by the place he was staying in. And when he got out there, he had his 45, a gun that he put in a fold-over holster. And Dylan had picked it up off the sawhorses that he'd thrown his stuff all around, moved it up so he could put the truck in the
Get to the shed, okay.
Yeah. And Dylan was holding the 45, and he said he got really pissed off at him and started yelling at him and telling him get the fuck out of there. And Dylan took the gun and fired it right beside his ear. That's why he can't hear out of his right side ear. He said he grabbed for the gun and was fighting for it. He said they ended up on the ground, and Dylan ended up shooting himself in the leg with the 45. And then he said that while they were fighting, the gun got fired like 2 or 3 times. He said there's a bullet hole in the side of the building out there you can see. He said when you guys was out there talking to him and standing in the shed or something, standing out there, he said he was sitting there looking at it. And then he showed me a scar on his thumb too, where he had stuck his hand in the gun that was trying to keep Dylan from firing it again, but he was clicking it, and his whole right hand was damaged at one time.
Okay.
But the bite mark is evident, very seeable, and the body is somewhere right there close by. He said he's seen tire marks over it where you guys have been driving. Somebody had been driving on it.
Did he give you any indication of where? There's a lot of country out there.
Yeah, he said it's in the high desert.
Did he say that it was close to where he killed him?
Yeah, it's close. It's close somewhere there.
Where he killed him?
He gave like a 25-mile circumference.
Oh, so quite a ways.
Yeah.
Okay, so he heard Dylan drive by in his truck. Dylan had backed the truck into the grain shed.
No, he said the truck was still parked out.
So it wasn't backed in yet?
Yeah, no, it wasn't backed in. And that's when they had the fight. They had the fight going on in there. He said that the round on the gun got turned. He said he heard it turn.
Like it was a revolver?
Yeah, it was a revolver.
He said the guy said a chance where Dylan had quit biting him on his wrist. He had latched onto him, and he said he got up and he took off out, and that's when he got to 22. Dylan told him to bring his ass back in there, or he was going to shoot the horse. The horse was standing outside.
Into the grain shed?
Yeah.
About? Okay.
The horse was standing out there eating grain out of the back of the truck.
And then, from what you're saying, did he run back to the trailer and get the 22?
He said it was behind the bags, some grain bags. He said he took 3 shots at him, and they're all headshots. He said one of them grazed Dylan on the side of the face. He pointed just like this to the side of his face, so it could have been red. I couldn't tell you if it was right side or left side. But then he said 2 more shots and shot Dylan in the head.
And that killed him?
Yeah.
And then what did he do?
Then he said he burned all his clothes. He said after he took care of everything, he burned all the clothes.
The revelations from Brayner's cellmate were chilling, to say the least. According to him, the argument that ended Dylan's life stemmed from Brayner being irritated with Dylan for repeatedly using the shed he considered his own workspace. After killing Dylan, Brayner attempted to cover up his crime by loading Dylan's body onto a backhoe, burying him deep in a remote stretch of the desert nearby. He then concealed the guns at Donald Hately's place and discarded Dylan's phone in a nearby pond, unaware it had recorded a damning, irrefutable proof of his crime. In addition to this confession, detectives turned back to the bloody boot DNA evidence they received a few months earlier. The state lab report confirms the blood belonged to Dylan, but they also found touch DNA matching Jim Brayner on the boots. Using this evidence, investigators then secured a search warrant for Brayner's phone, and by analyzing its data, they confirmed his device had traveled toward a nearby pond the day Dylan vanished. After searching the pond, they retrieved Dylan's phone containing crucial evidence. A video clearly showing Jim Brayner in a blood-stained shirt cleaning a gun. At this point, there was no longer any doubt. Jim Brayner killed Dylan Rounds and had been hiding in plain sight all along.
Why would they? And then it took 100.
Despite the overwhelming evidence, Brayner still sought to negotiate. Prosecutors were preparing for an aggravated murder trial, but still lacked Dylan's body, so Brayner offered prosecutors a deal. He would reveal the location of Dylan's body in exchange for reduced charges. In spring of 2024, Brayner guided law enforcement to Dylan's remains in the Lucerne Desert. The burial site was several miles from the grain shed property and was so well hidden that investigators had driven over the spot during earlier searches without noticing it. Inside the grave, they located Dylan's skeletal remains. Only bones and fragments of his clothing survived. On May 15th that same year, Brayner pled guilty to second-degree murder and 2 counts of firearm possession in exchange for dropping charges of desecrating remains and an unrelated aggravated assault case. On July 1st, Brayner was sentenced to 1 to 15 years for second-degree murder and 2 additional 1 to 15-year sentences for the firearms charges.
Bruh, how do you get 1 year for killing someone? 1 year? That's crazy. That's really crazy for real. I don't know about you, but that to me is wild and wavy. That boy was getting money, doing what he needed to do, and they were just hating on him. That's all it was. That's what and this dude, and it wasn't Chase. And Chase had nothing to do with it? Interesting. The Chase dude had nothing to do with it, although he is the most likely suspect. But we all knew what was going to happen.